Hello everyone, it's Jack Cotton, luxury real estate expert, author, and agent. I'm here inside my beautiful, luxurious, but not overly ostentatious Cape Cod office. We're talking about numbers. I'm not even going to mention the numbers today because I know you're sick of hearing about them, but we're improving our numbers the best way I know how, which is to improve our listing presentation. So we talked about, beginning with the buyer profile story. We talked about how we present our listing presentation, what it should look like, the reference it should contain, but also just to summarize your listing presentation, there needs to be 5 areas of expertise that you need to touch on in your presentation. Now, you've heard me talk about this over and over again, that people in the high end want to deal with experts. They want medical experts. They want legal experts. They want financial experts. They want tax experts. They want to know they worked with the best expert in any particular field where they have a need. Well, real estate is no exception. Luxury real estate absolutely being no exception. They want to deal with people who they perceive as being experts. And there's 5 critical areas of expertise that you must have to be successful in luxury real estate. And they are markets and value, what's going on in the marketplace, what are the trends, what are the ratios that are occurring in the marketplace, pricing, which is how you take that market data and you relate it to a specific property for the purpose of estimating the go-to-market price for that property. Number 3 is market preparation. Some people call that staging. I call it market preparation because I like to be different than everyone else. And we'll cover that more in a different video. Number 4 is marketing. How are you an expert in marketing? What's your expertise in marketing? And number 5, really important, is your negotiation skill. What skills do you have? In some markets, luxury homes are 5 million, 10 million, 20 million and more. But even when, I sold a $19 million house, both the buyer and the seller were used to doing deals in the hundreds of millions of dollars, if not the billions of dollars. So even though I have experience with real expensive properties, I often feel outgunned when I'm negotiating with a high net worth individual. So what have you done? What story can you tell about what you've done to enhance, increase, and improve your negotiation skills? So let's talk a little bit about these 5 critical elements that become the backbone of your presentation. You've got to make sure you cover these 5 elements in your presentation. So develop USPs, unique selling propositions, for each one of these elements. It could be your years in the business. It could be the collective experience of all the people in your office or company. It could be the designations that you've earned over your time in the business. It could be your sales history in the market, your average days on the market, your average listed sales price, the number of transactions you have in different price ranges. All these are stories you can tell that illustrate and make relevant and prove that you have the 5 areas of expertise that people crave in the high end. So, what do you do that's different and better than the competition to make your USPs stand out? Do you take photos? Hey, I got this new iPhone 6, takes great pictures. Or do you hire a photographer? Big deal, everyone does. How do you make that unique, different, and better? I tell my sellers, you know what? I've got this great photographer. You should see his camera, 35 megapixel Nikon, buttons and dials and readouts and LED displays. It's the most incredible camera you've ever seen, and he knows every single button on that camera and what it does. What I know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is how to art direct that photographer to capture your house in a way that'll entice, engage, enthrall, and thrill a potential buyer for your property. He's a photographer, or she's a photographer. I am the art director because while they know a ton about cameras and photography, I'm the one who knows how to frame the pictures so that online viewers will be captivated by your property. We only have 2 seconds to capture a buyer online, sometimes even less, so that picture is real important. That's what I do that's different and better in photography. Another example, well, I hire a stager, I'm going to help you stage your house. Well, I don't do that. I tell my sellers, listen, I'm going to prepare your market for sale. Over the years, my 4 decades in the business, that's in my case, in your case it might be, in the collective 100 years of experience contained in my office, we have noticed what makes a buyer's eyes light up when they walk through the front door of a house. Based on that knowledge, based on that experience, we have created this checklist that helps you get your property ready for the market to help potential buyers fall in love with your properties. In my case, over 4 decades, I've developed a 27-page, now it's expanding to 96 pages or something like that. I'm having it redone. 96-page market preparation checklist. That sounds intimidating, but it's not. There's a lot of lines and places to take notes in there, so there's not a lot on each page, but it's important to have. That's, to me, a huge point of difference, a huge USP, a unique selling proposition that I offer to my potential sellers. Do you delegate showings or do you show properties yourself? In my market, a lot of the market leaders delegate the showings. So the story I would tell to a potential seller is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when's the last time you looked at real estate? When's the last time you looked at homes for sale? Let me ask you this. When you were out looking at multi-million-dollar properties and you showed up at a property with your buyer agent and the listing agent was not present, the listing agent had a staff person or an assistant or someone else covering the listing for them, what message does that send to you about what the listing agent thinks about that property? Right? Not that important. Not a really special listing. Not that important. Not important enough for me to show up here. Now, obviously, you can't be present for every single showing of all your listings every single time. But you need to talk about, if this is one of the points of difference you choose to use, is one that I choose to use and I use every single time, is that I care about making sure that the person who knows the most about your property, except for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is going to be present at every single showing wherever possible to make sure that everything is conveyed properly so they can appreciate and fall in love with your property. So that is how, those are the 5 areas of expertise we need to cover, and that is how we wrap each one of those areas of expertise with a USP around. We wrap it in a story so it's more relevant, more believable, and they will buy into it more easily than just a dry recitation of, I take pictures, I show my own listings, I stage your property, I write great copy, I put it in MLS. I mean, that's boring. Seller's eye is going to glaze over when you do that. You've got to make it fun. You've got to make it relevant, and you do that by wrapping your USPs in a story. So we're going to go even deeper next time with 2 more elements that you have to add to your listing presentation. Until next time, don't forget, first Tuesday of every single month, luxuryrealestateunplugged.com. Try it. Go to the website, check it out, log in, sign up, ask your questions. It's live, and can't wait to see you there. But until then, make it a great week.